Hey, this is Casey. I am doing my 2-year on testosterone update, and I'm going to go over a couple things that I think may or may not have changed within the past year. I'm not going to go over everything that's changed since I started testosterone, but I figured about everything that's changed in the past year or so, and go over some things that may or may not have changed. For example, I don't think my voice has changed at all. I think it's pretty consistent at this point in time. I don't anticipate it getting any lower. I think this is just the range it'll be now. As far as body hair, that's slowly continued to spread. It's mostly starts out as peach fuzz, and then it'll start to get a little bit thicker in some areas. For example, my thighs have finally evened out. At my 1-year mark, they're still kind of patchy. Right now I just have one little spot on the side of each of my knees that is in the peach fuzz state, but other than that, my legs are pretty much all filled in by now. Body hair, what else? Oh, shoulders. My shoulders have got a lot of little random hairs on them now, and it doesn't start out as like the rest of my body. It's just like a long hair will sprout out here and there on my shoulders and on my shoulder blades. So that's interesting, because my dad didn't start getting hair on his shoulders till he was about 45, so I feel like it's a little bit earlier than I was expecting, but it is what it is. I don't believe my hairline has changed at all. I think it's about the same as it was a year ago, and I will talk a little bit more about my hair at the end of the video. Fat redistribution. I have been gaining a bit of weight the past 3 months, and I noticed that as I'm gaining it, it's gaining only in my stomach area. So that's kind of interesting, because I know that men tend to carry their weight in their stomach, so it's kind of interesting to see that happening to me. And acne is still happening. It's kind of settled down on my face. It's not doing too much more on my face than what it had been previously doing. It is still spreading down my back, which is kind of gross. It hasn't really gotten any worse on my shoulder blades. It's kind of sustained where it was a year ago. I'm hoping that within the next year it'll have started to clear up a little bit. I have started using something called African black soap, and I did have to take a break from it recently when I had surgery, but I'm going to start using it again soon. And I did see that within about a week of using the African black soap, it really helped clear up the acne on my back. So I am anxious to start that up again and see how much it helps. I was getting a little bit on my chest, but not really. It's just one here or there. It's not like my back where it's out of control. It's more like my face where one will pop up every once in a while. So, I mean, as far as the acne prospect goes, I think it's a little bit better this year than it was last year. So that's kind of nice. As far as, let's see, passing, I think I pass more often than not now. It's just every so often I'll run into somebody where it becomes an issue, but I think I'm definitely passing more than I used to, and I think a lot of it also has to do with it's not necessarily being on hormones or having surgery or anything like that. A lot of it is how you present yourself. For example, if I want to pass, I'll wear extra masculine clothing, collared shirts and all that stuff. And I found that for me personally, the longer my hair gets, the worse I pass. So I'll try and keep a short haircut. If you kind of ask your barber or the person where you get your haircut to square off the corners up here, it also helps to appear to have a more masculine hairline. And you can cut it straight across in the back as opposed to having a rounded cut. So little things like that you can really do will help you pass. But as far as from this year to last year, there really hasn't been a whole lot of difference. I'd say the biggest thing transition-wise that changed between this year and last year is that I'm now a little over a month post-op from top surgery, and I will be making a separate video about that. So if you'd like to check that out, I'll be also putting up a video for 1 month post-op. And there's really not much to say for as far as what's changed hormone-wise this year. I am getting a couple more hairs on my face. I've got a little bit of peach fuzz starting to patchily grow in right here and here. I've got maybe 1 or 2 long dark hairs on the side, and maybe 3 or 4 on the side. On my chin, there are more coming in. It's kind of the same area underneath, which is kind of weird. I pulled it a little bit closer. It's a little shadowy right now. but I let it grow out specifically so that you could see the glories of it in this video, which is to say, there's nothing there. So, as per usual, I will not be growing any facial hair. That's something that it really boils down to genetics. If you're genetically predisposed to have facial hair, then you can get it. If you're not, like, my family doesn't really have a whole lot of facial hair, so I came into this process knowing that I wasn't going to be growing a giant beard or anything like that, and not just because I don't like facial hair. So, that's what I got, and I will be making a couple videos in the next couple of days, so keep tuned, and hope to see you soon.